How's it going? This is Brent from the All Natural Project.
And this is Piero Peirano from Advanced Self-Growth.
And today we're going to talk about building a tribe. And we're going to go very deep into this topic of pretty much building up a group around yourself that supports your goals and ambitions in life. You know, and you get together and it's like an upward spiral of just fucking greatness, if you will. It's awesome. It's amazing. And there's so many different ways to really go about it. And the number one thing is to be social, be outgoing, get out there and make friends. Don't sit at your house all day long, you know, on your couch, because you're not going to meet anybody doing that, you know. So, you know, get out there, be sociable, take initiative. That's one of the biggest things you got to do, is be the first one to initiate and, you know, send out invites to come hang out with you, you know, and eventually, you know, through the law of reciprocation, people will reciprocate and invite you back out. And you start building up these friendships together that are very, very deep, you know, and it's easy to make acquaintances with anybody. You can have, you know, 1,000 friends on your Facebook, but to be honest, that really doesn't matter. What matters is finding, you know, 5 to 10 people you really, really connect with on a deep level, and, you know, going deep with them, you know, and, you know, figuring out, you know, everything about each other, your past, you know, your future goals, and, you know, growing that way.
Yeah, something that I noticed when you said you start talking about having a positive energy, bringing out the best of yourself when you are actually doing that. I remember we used to have one other friend that he wasn't really positive. He wasn't really had the most like outgoing positive energy, and we were starting to get to know each other. And then we decided to veer off from that person because that negative energy was really rubbing off of us. And we were on the path of self-development and continuing to grow as a person, as people. So we wanted to, you know, get around with people that were like that, who had that positive energy. And even if you're not the most positive person, at least you're making the effort. Like you're really trying to like put out a good energy about yourself, and that's going to be enough to kind of like attract other people that are at that level, or they will see that you're making the effort, and that's good enough. That you're making the effort, that you're putting the energy out there, and other people want to relate with you instead of just being negative and just being a victim of life, right?
Yeah, the vibes that you're putting out there into the world, people can feel it off of you, even if you're not, you know, overtly saying it verbally or anything. People can kind of feel your energy, and if it's negative, you're naturally going to push people away. They're not going to want to be around that. At least not people who are on the upward spiral and they're coming up in life and they have, you know, higher ambitions and dreams. They want to do things. Whenever you say, hey, I got this great idea, and you're just kind of like, oh, no, it's not going to happen, you know, those people aren't going to want to hang around you. And that's what, you know, building a tribe is really about, is getting people around you who are, you know, moving up in life and they're going somewhere. So I know this friend that, you know, we're talking about, and, you know, overall he's a good person. If he just fixed a few of these things, he could also be a leader. And right now I'm a leader of a group of people who get together and we socialize and we meet women and we approach. And, you know, the way that I was able to build that up almost from scratch was reaching out to people and just being positive, just overall being a positive guy, and putting myself out there and just having fun with it, not taking myself too serious. And that's one thing I noticed. Most people, they don't express themselves fully. They don't goof off and just let loose. You know, they're trying to hold on to some kind of image that they have, you know, and you want to let loose and let go of that whenever you're around people that you really connect with, you know.
That's something like, if you're a naturally shy person and it's hard for you to like get out there, if it's not natural for you to be outgoing and express yourself, just the fact that you're surrounding yourself with other people that are like that are more confident, that are more outspoken, that are more like that have more like leadership qualities. Surround yourself enough with these people, and you're gonna find yourself actually starting acting and kind of like having those qualities yourself, and eventually you're gonna start acting like that. You know, there's certain qualities that you have. We've hung out enough, and I think I've seen you like this kind of like dominant frame that you always have when you are talking to other people, that I noticed from the get-go, or I noticed that the high energy that you have. And those are things that I pointed out, and I was like, okay, I wanna kind of work on that. I noticed that that's something it's helping to have a certain reaction from other people. People actually respect that, and they kind of open up and they bring their best self forward just because they're in front of someone that has that command. So I noticed, and I was like, that's something that I want to work on. And that's the benefit of having a reference group that have the same kind of like goals and the same kind of ideas and path that you have. For example, here, we both are into this. Like, we are both like so passionate about self-development. We're both building a little company on self-development, and we're both into recording and video blogging, and it's just so natural and so effective for us to come together as two minds, and other friends that we have, and we have also Victor, he's going to speak in a little bit, who come together and speak about with their passions, and it's so easy to relate and build a true connection. That is the only thing that can build and bring success. It's relating with other people that are in the same path. Doing it yourself and doing it alone is just going to bring a lot more challenges and a lot more frustrations. It's going to take you a lot longer, many years, to actually learn to get to where you need to get, because you're not going to get those skills as fast.
You have to be social. You have to get out there. You have to be a little bit outgoing. You have to put yourself on the line a little bit, express your personality. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't do. They kind of they sit in their comfort zones, and they don't allow themselves to just, look silly sometimes, just have fun and, do their thing. But that's, whenever you're real like that with other people, you are able to connect on a deeper level, really, and you make friendships very quickly with these people who are on the same path and have the same goals as you.
I want to talk about like how we met and why we're recording this video as well. Like, this is just a little example. You were talking about the importance of finding other people who are on the same path as you, who have the same vision, how just with doing that alone and finding other people who are on the same path, basically that helps you to kind of like speed up the process of growth and the better ideas and more creativity that you can get. So for example, here we're two people that came around, and we have the same path. We all are into developing this self-development type of concept and making videos and sharing that, and we really have the same goal. We're in the same connection, and so it was just a matter of putting our ideas on the table, talking about it, and when we realized we had that type of connection, same goals, it was easy to relate to each other, and then the friendship just built from that. And we've been getting to know each other for a while now, and it's gone to a point that, hey, let's get together and make something happen and grow more ideas, and that's how things move forward. It's not just, if it would be just by myself and I would just go out and try to record videos or do this and try to learn by myself, it would actually take me a lot longer to get things. Actually, from hearing your perspective and some of the ideas that you bring to the tables and the things that you've done so far, it's been easier for me to kind of put it together and realize, oh, I like the idea, that's something that I could use or not.
It's my boy Piero. He's a fucking awesome dude, awesome wingman. And how long have we known each other?
It's been 5 months, not more than that, probably.
Five to 8 months or so.
Close to a year. Close to a year.
And we already have, so much depth together. Like we could talk about like anything regarding, what we're into, and we just talk for hours. You know what I mean? That's what it's supposed to be about. It's not supposed to be small talk with your tribe. And get deep. A really important aspect about this whole thing is the fact that you can have a whole lot of friends who, and we know a whole lot of people who are also into, the same things that we're doing here, self-development, self-help, approaching women, doing things like that. But the most important thing to remember is that you want to go deep. You want to build depth with the people, and no one has all the time and energy to do it with everybody, but the people who you really relate to and you have a good time just in general hanging out with, you want to go deep. You want more depth over breadth whenever it comes to building a real strong tribe. One kind of thing that I talk about is having like an inner circle. You have your main tribe. I read somewhere that humans were built to be in 150 people tribes. Like, that's like as many acquaintances as you can have before you pretty much run out of like enough time to even know everybody, to even remember to call them or anything like that. So you want to pick 5 to 10 people who you really do get along with, and you really do have a lot in common, and go as deep as possible. Learn as much as you can about each other, and your past and your histories and your ups and downs, and you go through these ups and downs, and you have these really high highs and these low lows, together, and it builds, something very strong, just a really strong relationship that is solid, man.
One thing about finding other people that are into the same goals that you have is that find people that are producing the results that you want to see, not just you just found friends because you that's the best that you can do. No, actually go out of your way to find people that are producing the results that you can see, that they walk the talk, that they actually take action, and are at least working really hard on getting the results that you want to see in your life. Because if you don't get that, then everything else is just gonna stop you and prevent you from actually moving forward. But they're like a few steps ahead of you, or at your path at least, then you're more likely to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I met Brent on the subject of tribes. Say you're alone, you're trying to find people on the same path as you. There could possibly be some groups that already exist that you have no idea about. And I think the fun part of, going on the journey by yourself, you have your own goals. And, like you said, you need some more fire to the fuel. And with that, you're searching out for people with different ideas. People have examples of, finding mentors in books and surrounding yourself with people that have like-minded ideas. What happened with me, how I came to meet Brent, is through RSD Inner Circle. He was one of the leaders. He was reaching out to people saying, hey, I'm throwing this together. And almost like he had like an authority figure, you kind of need that. I would say someone blazing the trail. And so he was reaching out to people saying, hey, come out, we're in this, together, no one has to be by themselves.
Take initiative.
Exactly. Take initiative. And to a degree, him lighting the trail, makes you feel welcome, makes you feel wanted. I think a part of being a tribe is, being with other people where you feel you are, desired to be around. Just because, on an independent level, you bring a good vibe, you bring value, and you bring production to whatever goals that you're trying to attain. It also goes as far as increasing your learning curve. Say you learned from a experience that maybe Brent had. He's told me countless different ideas of how he's approached women, how things have gone bad, or things are going good for him. That true level of abundance, and he just relates his experiences with everybody else, with the group. I've learned some very, bright ideas from Brent and Piero both.
At the same time, you become such good friends that you're able to joke around, make fun of each other, and like no one's taking it serious, no one's getting their ego hurt, because it's all about just having a good time. And that's what friends do. They bag on each other a little bit. They have fun. They push each other to work harder.
They go through the ups and downs together, and it creates camaraderie. Sometimes I might compare myself to you or you to me, but it shows you the different levels. Not so much differences in people themselves, but differences in how you perform. By knowing your strengths and coming into a group, you can automatically, decide where you want to concentrate your energy as well. Bringing value is probably one of the most important things. I used to surround myself with people that believe they were bringing value, but when really they were just bringing down themselves and the people around them. It's very important for you to carefully choose who you surround yourself with, because you become used to these habits, these behaviors that, other people put off. So if you're trying to be the best person that you are, you want to surround yourself with the people who are trying to do the same thing. Because if people are trying to be negative around you, they're just going to rub off on you. And no human being is an impenetrable force from the world surrounding him.
I kind of want to just explain how epic it's really been to meet everybody, that's a part of this tribe, and like the things that we're able to do. Like, just for example, I just turned 27 here recently on my birthday, and I was able to get 4 people together from this tribe to instantly, decide to go, hey, we're going to go along with you.
Adventure!
On an adventure to fucking Austin, Texas is where we went. And we went out. We had a fucking awesome, amazing, great time. And this is like something that I couldn't even get from my old social circle, because people, they always had excuses, they didn't have enough money, they didn't do this, but
Limiting beliefs.
they have limiting beliefs. But when you get with the right group of people, they're down. You know what I mean? They're down to go on an adventure and do these things with you. You know, say if you get with a group of people who love football, they're not going to turn down going to watch a football game with you. They're going to be there to watch it, because that's your tribe of people. So put on your face paint and fucking go hang out with those people, you know, and that's what we do. We go out and socialize. We meet women. I'm 27. 28, and most people stop making friends when they get out of college at like 22, 23, and that's it. That's who they're stuck with, their college buddies or their high school buddies. And we're doing something. We're kind of breaking the mold here and making really good fucking friends who do awesome, you know, amazing adventures together. And we're almost close into our 30s, and it's gonna keep growing. It's just gonna keep happening, and you know, who knows who else we might meet and what else they might bring to the tribe and you know, bring to the table. It's going to be awesome.
I think one reason why people get comfortable in the peer groups that they're in, because they kind of form a sense of identity around who the people they're with, because maybe their old peer group or the one they're comfortable with reminds of, hey, do you remember the times where we did this? This time was awesome. Or, you know, I wish we could do that again. You know, that kind of speak is very past tense. It's like you're trying to relive a moment, recapture it, living in the past.
Instead of making new experiences together, which, you know, you always want to be creating new experiences. So you constantly have things to talk about, you know, and that's, you know, on the issue of, you know, being a wingman, you know, you have your group there, and you shouldn't be sitting there silent together. You should be like, oh yeah, last weekend, you know, we did that. That was fucking epic. That was so cool, you know, and we're not going back 2-3 years. We're going back last weekend. You know what I mean? Last week. You know, last month, you know, you got a good pool or you had an awesome date or something like that, you want to talk about it. But not only are we excited about that, but we're also about to make a new experience right then and there and have a good time that night, you know?
Being excited in the present can be just as fun as being excited for the future.
Right.
Being excited about the past. But in order to create a different future, you have to be kind of living in the present. And that includes, you know, being aware of who you surround yourself with.
One thing I want to add too, when you find these people that you live in the same reality and you make these really great friendships, you're going to start like losing a little bit of your connection with your old social circle. But don't like judge your old social circle in any kind of way. Just accept them, really. That's something that was, you know, a sticking point for me. And I used to hold up and bottle a lot of anger, like, how come these people don't think the way I do or have the same ambitions that I do? They're so, you know, lazy and live in the socially conditioned life, if you will. But what was a real like burden that lifted off of my shoulders when I just accepted them for who they are. And I still, you know, I send them texts. I'm still the initiator. I'll invite them out to have a drink or something like that. So I keep them in my life, and you know, I appreciate them for who they are as a person. And hopefully they do, you know, for me as well, because, you know, I'm doing things that they're not, they're doing things that I'm not. But, you know, I still, you know, I didn't just completely forget about them and say, oh, you know, once you build this tribe, then you forget about everybody else. No, keep everybody in your life around, you know, show that you appreciate, you know, what you did have together, because that's also important, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's about, you know, the more grounded you become as a person, the more you're able to have a relationship with different people, have different ideas. Like, for me, it's like, yeah, I have my tribe and people that have my common interests, but you still have friendships back in Miami, and friendships like in other sides, which other types of goals and other types of thinking that I have with them, like you co-workers, the people that you hang out with. And the idea is that to be able to relate to different types of people for different ideas and different things that you do. But yeah, you should have your main group that you relate to, that you're actually like helping you to move forward. But don't forget to continue relating to the people that
being a social person.
To just be a social person overall. Like don't just, I think, limiting yourself to just one type of group.
Right.
Can also be detrimental, because you want to grow as a person in different areas and be able to relate to the most types of personalities that you can.
Right.
But if you want to grow in a particular area, then for sure have your tribe that has the same common interest, and that's how you're directly going to go, like that way. Go to places where people hang out that have the common interest that you want to have. That means if you're into meeting people who are social, then go to meetups, go to places that are more likely to be at, go to clubs, go to
Create
bars.
a Facebook group.
Create a Facebook group, yeah. And you got to take the initiative. Don't just be a victim and sit at home thinking, why is it that you don't have as many friends? Like you were saying, like how old are you now? You're
27, just turned 27.
I just turned 30. Like and people, like you said, like the older you get, you think like, oh, it's so hard to make friends just because I'm turning older. Usually people already have their set good friends by the time they're a certain age. That's not true. Every time I go to a bar, and like I was watching the like Copa America games, bro. Every time you're just having a sip, and the person next to you wants to start a conversation, and all of a sudden you're talking about the game, you know, the team, your favorite team.
Right.
You build a connection, and all of a sudden you're exchanging numbers, and you want to go to the next game. You just made a friend. It's about you putting the initiative, you putting the proactive actions.
It's because you're out and being sociable. This didn't happen, you know, in your living room, and that's the key part of doing it. You got to go out. You got to take initiative. You got to bring value to the whole group, you know, and just have fun, relax, and express yourself. Like, don't think that anybody's judging you, because the real fact is most people are too busy judging themselves to worry about you. So they're just gonna embrace like your energy and your vibe if it's positive. So, you know, that's a real quick way. Like, you know, I just started, you know, building this group, you know, here recently in the past year and a half, and it's grown from, you know, less than 80 members to almost 200. And we have meetups with 15 to 20 guys who come out, and they're all highly positive, and they're all, you know, looking to grow and get better. They're doing what they want to do, and it's really an amazing experience that I didn't think was even possible.
And you said something about like building value to the group. People want to be around other people who bring value, who add something to the group, instead of just going because you want to take something from them, even if it's to make yourself feel better. If you're going out with a certain group of people just to make yourself feel better, eventually people are going to notice that, and they're going to notice the lack that you're bringing in, that vacuum, and they're going to want to like push you away, or they're going to make fun of you, or not make fun of you, but they're going to take advantage of you, or something's going to happen. They're not going to really respect you. Then if you are actually bringing something to the table, and you're actually bringing some kind of value and building the group up, then people will want to continue getting to know each other. They're actually going to go out of the way to get your number and to want to hang out with you, instead of just taking something from them, if that makes sense.
It'll be reciprocal. It's a reciprocal relationship on, you know, on pretty much every level. And it's actually like a law of influence from a book by something called Cialdini. I can't remember his name, but it's called Influence. Read it if you get a chance. Robert Cialdini. And it's called Influence, and one of the laws in it is reciprocation. So if you go out and you give value, people are going to give value back to you, and that's just a real easy way to build friendships, relationships, anything that you're looking to do. It's very important. All right, Naturals, this is my first video blog, and it's on building tribes. I hope you get out there and make the most of it. Make it fucking epic.